This is Crew Talk, the podcast of Bombers CrossFit, where we build healthy humans. Here we talk about strength, discipline, mindset, community, real training, real nutrition, real results. If you're ready to level up inside and outside the gym, you're in the right place. Hey guys, welcome back to Crew Talk, the official podcast for Bombers CrossFit, where we build healthy humans. And today, we're diving into one of our favorite traditions here, the Bombers Ultimate Fitness Festival. 11 years, countless athletes, 4 brutal tests, and one goal, finding the fittest teams while building an even stronger community. Coach Ryan and Coach Trent will join us today to talk about programming, competition, and why this event has become a cornerstone of Bombers CrossFit. So let's get into it. Ryan, Trent, thanks for joining us on this episode of Crew Talk to talk to us about Buff 11. So if you don't already know, they are going to be running the Buff this year. So first off, let's talk about what is it, kind of the basic breakdown. When is it? What time is it? That kind of thing.
Yeah, Bombers Ultimate Fitness Festival. I mean, this has been going on for over a decade now. It's a friendly in-house competition. So the idea is, I mean, CrossFit by nature is competitive. Like, there's a leaderboard every single day. You're always trying to either one-up yourself from, last time you did a workout, or maybe you have that gym rival you're trying to one-up. CrossFit, by nature, kind of breeds competition. Mm-hmm. But a lot of us at Bombers, like, it's scary to go out and go somewhere to compete, So this is our way of kind of giving people that taste of competition without the high stakes pressure of signing up and going somewhere. And for the past 10 years, Daryl has been the fearless leader for the Buff, and we figured that it takes 2 of us to replace one of him. So we also wanted to give him a chance to actually compete in the Buff. And then,
then life happens.
Then life happens. We kind of set it up for you to win it this year, and then all of a sudden, one-armed Daryl over here.
Yeah, one-armed Daryl might still win it.
That's fair.
Yeah, you could have come up with a lot of one-armed things. That would have been helpful.
I am still impressed by your acid bathroom a few weeks ago. I'm very impressed by one-armed acid bath.
Yeah. So it's teams of 3, correct?
Yeah.
What day? What time?
So it's going to be on Saturday, July 18th, and it's teams of 3. It doesn't matter if it's all male, all female. It can be mixed any way you see fit. But yeah, teams of 3. So all the workouts have been kind of balanced around.
Yep.
Teams of 3.
And so it's equalized out the scoring and everything so that it's even. If you have like 2 women and 1 guy, you don't have an advantage over, a team of 3 women or 3 guys or whatever.
Insofar as we can. We're trying to make the math. For example, one workout has 15 cals on the Echo bike for gentlemen, 9 cals for the ladies. And it is an AMRAP. So what we're doing is each set of bike is worth 3 reps. So every 5 cals for guys, every 3 cals for ladies. So when you do get to the end there, if someone only finished 8 cals, right, then that will hopefully balance out a little bit there. And then when it comes to like weightlifting totals, if those get selected from the hopper, then they will give the ladies a 1.5 multiplier on that, just to try to balance it out a little bit.
Yeah, similar to how the feats of skill and strength have worked in the past from a scoring perspective, and then any movement that would normally be scaled down on a regular workout, making sure that it was for this competition as well.
Yep. Okay. All right. And it starts early in the morning, right?
I think we have registration, kind of check-in around 7:30, and first heat goes at 8.
Yeah. Event 1 will start at 8, and I think we're planning about an hour for each event just to get through. Pretty good amount of teams signed up so far, so it should be fun.
We'll have to look logistics-wise to give a clear end time.
Yeah.
We would like to be done around as close to noon as we can, but there are teams keep getting bigger there. So there's a good, I think 8 RX teams, 8 scaled teams. So we'll logistically have to make that work. But so TBD on the end time, but we'll try to keep it as close to noon as we can.
Yep.
And then this year you guys are going to do some raffles or something like that too?
Yeah, so the entry fees, this is not like a make money type of event. So we're taking all the entry fees and then kind of giving it back through the competition. So every entry will get a t-shirt.
Sweet shirt like that. Yeah.
T-shirts for judges as well. There will be a sticker as well. And then each entry will come with a few raffle tickets where we'll be raffling off various pieces of gear, maybe some grips, maybe some knee sleeves, socks, other things, maybe a weightlifting belt or some gift cards to some apparel shops, things like that. So we'll have different bowls set up and we'll do some raffles that way. So people can kind of try to win some things. We'll also have, be using some of the funding for the fuel station, having some food provided and drinks provided for the competitors and the judges to partake in, just to kind of fuel up between events.
Okay. All right. Cool. So let's talk about some of the events. And what's the first one up?
The first one is, I mean, traditionally there seems, but years I've done the buff, there's been a Bombers benchmark in most, if not all of the years that I've done. I've done it for the last 4 years, I believe. So that's kind of one of the things we wanted to keep, like certain traditions about the buff alive. And so we kind of looked through, and I had never done B1 as a version of a version of B1 in the buff before. And originally it is written as 1 squat clean, 10 double unders, 10 wall walks, 100 double unders, 1,000 meter row, 100 double unders, 10 wall walks, 1 squat clean. Squat clean weight, I think it's
225, 155.
225, 155. Like this is, I think, it's almost too easy to make this into a 3-person team workout. It becomes 330, 300, 3,000, 330, right? We did bump the weight down just a little bit to 185, 125, just because, again, one of the good parts about being a in-person competition or in-house competition is that we can really tailor it to our population, and we want to make sure people weren't, first movement in scared to RX.
Yes.
Right. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still a weight that it's something that you have to think about. So the weight will be 185, 125 for the squat cleans, but like Ryan said, it's 3 of them. Then it's 30 wall walks, 300 double unders, 3,000 meter row, and then you go back down the pyramid there, and then you can break it up however you want. If you have a really strong partner that 185 squat cleans is no problem, they can do those. Maybe they struggle with wall walks and someone else picks up that slack.
See, that's the advantage of doing it that way, is you make it a little bit more inclusive. So you can pick a person, one guy that does maybe the 3 cleans, and then, somebody else picks up, they're really good on wall walks or something like that,
Yeah, and that's one of the ones too. So like we balanced that. So the row, for every female member on the team, you subtract 150 meters from the row to kind of balance that out a little bit. But yeah, teams will be able to have obviously multiple barbells and things like that.
Right. So you could have, so if you've got one female on the team, you would have 2 barbells set up for that team.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the 2 different weights.
But that's the first one. I think that one might be the longest. I think we're thinking somewhere in the 20 to 30 minute range on that, just because the volume of some of the reps is so high.
Sure. And 3,000 meters, I mean, takes a while.
Take a second.
But it's also a thing that it's easy to set up with our gym setup in lanes. So we can do a lot of members or a lot of teams in one heat, since only one member's working at a time.
Yeah. Now, you don't know how many teams are signed up yet, so you don't know, how many lanes you're going to... You might have to run the RX in 2 heats or 1 heat. You don't really know.
Right now, I think we have at least 8 people on the board. I know there are some people... or signed up officially. There's some people still have their names. Hey, looking for someone with go-getter attitudes.
Yes, I saw that one. So you got like a 4 RX and 4 scale, do you think, right now, or?
I think we have 8 and
8 right now.
Oh, 8 and 8. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, cool.
Which is we're excited for. It's going to be, I think, a little bit of logistics challenge with equipment and all that. Making sure, like you said, the lanes are all kind of set up where we want them to be.
Yeah.
But we're excited for it for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, since we're taking the entry fees and giving it back, it allows us to do a lot of cool things, buy higher end things for the raffles, things like that. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
One thing I like about the first workout is how almost grid league it kind of feels like. For those who don't know, grid league is kind of CrossFit. You know how people look at CrossFit and think CrossFit is stupid for what they do? Grid league is how CrossFitters feel. Like it's that same vibe there. But on a grid league team, you have like your strong people, you have your gymnastics, you have your cardio bunnies, right? You have like specialist almost. And this one you can kind of almost approach it as a specialist. Like if Trent and I were on a team and he's like, dude, that 185 clean, like I'm not feeling that, and like I wouldn't mind just doing all three, and then maybe he does more of the wall walks, and like we still won't, well, I'm probably still going to do a little bit of everything, but like you can really just rely on like, hey Phil, you're the barbell guy today on that workout, and he doesn't. So it's really kind of a team strategy, play to your strength, and I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, because you can get a person that can do that. 185 is 3 touch and go reps, you know, where for others, you know, it's like 1 and then you have to walk around a little bit and then try to get another one, you know. And the same thing on wall walks, you know, some people can hit the bottom and go right back up again. Some people have to take a little break, you know. What about the scaled division? What changes for scaled?
So the weight is 135.95 for scaled on the squat clean. The wall walks are partial wall walks like they do in the open, where you have to just move the hands once to tape the line behind. And then the jump rope skill is single unders.
Single.
Same numbers.
Same numbers,
And then the row is the same.
So do you mandate it has to be a squat clean? How are you going to judge that?
Yeah, I think mandating
the squat clean.
Just keep it true to the B1, right? You want to get hip crease below parallel and all that.
Okay. All right. So that's something. And again, the beauty of putting the workouts in advance like this is if you're not confident with that squat clean and you're going to do one, well, now's the time to practice, you know, and get some confidence in that movement.
Tim and Abby Allen have been testing out some workouts at their house
a few times,
ready, so doing some buff prep. So
okay. So that's the first workout, the B1. That's cool. What's number 2?
Number 2, traditionally, in the years I've done the buff, there has been feats of skill and strength, right? I've heard they've been as obnoxious as a kind of like a litter carry before. I've started off burpees over hay bales. Sometimes it's just 1 minute of rope climbs, what you got in there. Sometimes it's a lift, and we've been talking a lot, I think, this year as a coaching team about programming. Right, and we had one of the L1 lectures. What is CrossFit? You know, how do we define what is fitness? And one of the models of fitness is the hopper model. In essence, if you had this hopper and you tried to just crank it, and whatever came out of the hopper, the idea is the CrossFitter would be scoring on average the highest if across all the disciplines of strength and conditioning, right? So the marathon runner obviously would do better at the 5K, power lifter at the bench press, but between the two scores, the CrossFitter would be second place in both, right? And so over the course of a competition, the person who is at the top is going to end up being the person most balanced across all skills and strengths, right? And that's kind of like that's kind of like the essence of what drove CrossFit at the start of it. And it's kind of why we do what we do in our programming all together, like this whole varied, not random kind of aspect where we do a little bit of everything all the time. And that idea just really fascinates me. I really kind of latched onto that, and I kind of looked at Trent and said, what if that's what we did for the feats of skill and strength? We just got a hopper out and said, whatever comes out, comes out. Now we've kind of tailored the list a little bit. So we have categories, and we have monostructural, weightlifting, and gymnastics. About 9 to 12 of each of those. It could be 50 count bike. It could be a 7 rep max back squat. It could be max bar muscle ups unbroken, right?
Yeah, because you've got a limited some. I mean, as far as like the specific rep count or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
logistically, we want it to be able to be completed in 15-minute stations, right? So all athletes can kind of go around those stations for that hour or so and complete those. But the idea at its heart is we want this piece to be a little random. Really, it's kind of the first CrossFit Games too. 2007 CrossFit Games, the backyard barbecue. It was just like, hey, what's coming out of the hopper? Oh, you're doing Jackie today, kind of deal. So whatever comes out, it could be 4 weightlifting movements, it could be 4 cardio movements. Hopefully, it's a good mix of both. We try to balance it so it's a good mix of both. And even if it's weightlifting, we took out, like, there's not a 7 rep back squat and then a 7 rep front squat. right? So we tried to balance it for the most part.
Yeah, we tried to also make sure like there's not a ton of redundancy in the hopper versus some movements in the other workouts. And then for weightlifting, it's not all just max lifts. Some of it is 2-minute AMRAP of like a hang power clean or something like that. So there's some variation in there. We tried to, come up with a lot of options to try to make sure that, you don't get, we thought of all these weightlifting ideas, so 4 weightlifting things get pulled. But it'll be fun to have an actual hopper, and nobody will know really what we're doing until before that event starts. Pull things out of the hopper, and then, like you said, Brian, running it will just sort of be like the feats of skill and strength. It's team 1 and 2 will start at this station, team 3 and 4 at another station, and each team will have 15 minutes at each station.
Now, say so you pull out the hopper and it's max ring muscle ups in 1 minute, and you say, I can't do any ring muscle ups in 1 minute. So what do I do?
Your best. Attempt.
You try.
You try.
Yeah, that happened last year, right?
Yeah.
One of the feats was max unbroken ring muscle ups. I know there's some of us that just did 15 minutes of attempts. But yeah, that's sort of the nature of it, and that's okay. And that's also, you're not as, you have some more flexibility with the teams of 3, right? Maybe you have a couple people that can do it to outweigh you not being able to do a rep, or some other people to pick up the slack, and then maybe you can pick up the slack in somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
We also talk about how the gym is kind of like a microcosm for life. Like the hard work, the discipline, the sweat you put in here kind of teaches your brain that, like, you can do hard things. Like when the coach says, I remember Coach Jimmy yelling at me one day saying, you can always do one more burpee, right? And sure, he was talking about a burpee workout, but like, could I always metaphorically always do one more burpee, right? And I think a lot of things we do in the gym have analogs to life, not just because functional fitness, just because like the discipline, the mindset, and sometimes in life someone asks you to do something that you are unable to do, and I think it's kind of more of a look at your reflection kind of. What do you do? How do you approach that?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you spend 15 minutes trying? Like that's admirable. Do you look at it like, hey, not today, but right? Or like, how do you deal with that kind of adversity when something in life comes at you that you can't, do right when they ask you to do it?
Yeah,
and I think that's beautiful. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So.
I always tell people, there was a person I knew many years ago, not here, not at Bombers, but there was a workout and it had ring muscle ups, as a matter of fact. And normally he was able to do them, wasn't able to do them that day in the conditions of that workout. And that was it. He quit, never came back. So it's how you deal with that failure. I mean, if you get up there and you try to do 15 minutes of ring muscle up and you don't make it, are you going to sulk for the rest of the day and let this influence the rest of your workouts, or are you going to like forget it and press on? And that's what you got to be able to be mentally resilient to go through that.
Yeah. We jokingly say, depth of squat is depth of character, but I really do think the gym does reveal a lot about character as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so a heavy deadlift comes up and you say, all right, you got 15 minutes to do your max deadlift. Well, that's not a lot of time to warm up. I mean, so how are you going to get to your max deadlift in 15 minutes?
Yeah. So the idea is part of the competition is that time limit, right? You never know if you go to real sports, you never know the conditions of game day, right? So we kind of like, sure, Phil will need way more than 15 minutes to get to a true heavy deadlift for him. But ideally, after event 1, people are warm, right? They're not like, it's not asking, hey, crack your knuckles and go, like 7 rep deadlift, break your back. That's not the goal, right? But what can you establish in 15 minutes? And I think at the end of the day, like the strong person is going to still be able to get the highest score. I think Phil, or someone like Phil or Ben or Charlie, like they're gonna
Cody,
they're going to be deadlifting more at the end of that 15 minutes, deadlifting more than if you gave me an hour to do it, right? So
and I think like you said, that time limit is part of it, and there's more workouts to come, there's more workouts before, so it's just, again, that's the constraints for that one event. And just lift as heavy as you can. It's not like, if the class's workout of the day was a 7 rep deadlift, where you really are shooting for that max. It's just what can you do in that time limit.
Yeah, and the thing is, everybody's under the same constraints, and cream is always going to rise to the top, right? So,
I think in weightlifting sports, like powerlifting, weightlifting, or even like high level CrossFit, they'll have different categories for like competition PRs and like for themselves. This is my competition PR, this is my training PR. So someone can come in and say, hey, my training PR is, a 200 kilo snatch, right? First off, good for them. 200 kilo snatch is crazy. But in competition, they've only ever hit 195, right? And so there's, I think, just nature of weightlifting and any, strength conditioning as sports is what you do in the gym by yourself is going to be different. That can be different than what you've done in competition. And that's fine. I think that's part of the sport.
And there's strategy involved in it too, I would imagine. I mean, in that 15-minute window, if it doesn't give you an advantage if you deadlift 200 pounds more than everybody else did. Okay, you only need to lift them by 1 pound, right? And so there might be some strategy in there as well. Waiting until kind of the last minute and then making a pull. I
do think it'd be fun this year. We always talk about the weightlifting and throw Phil in that list, and I think in years past, Phil's been one of, if not the strongest person in the in who signed up for the buff. We got some heavy deadlifters. We got some heavy hitters in the gym now.
We do.
Who signed up. So Phil, usually Phil, I think would run away with that one. Like not even his warm up weight would be heavier than most people's. But I think there's gonna be a couple people giving him run for his money. So it'd be kind of cool.
It'd be interesting. And so all 4 members of the team, or all 3 members of the team, will do each of the 4 events.
And we'll give females, especially on that weightlifting, a 1.5 multiplier on what they do there
to try and equalize that out a little bit.
And then the highest score across each event, like each event will be a fourth of a full event. So we'll total them up into one score. So then the whole entire hopper will be the same weight as the first event, third and fourth.
I mean, otherwise that second event would be outsized on everything else, and so.
We do want fitness to prevail. We want, at the end of the day, we want the podium to represent the fittest people on that day.
It's going to reward the team not the team that comes in first and then fourth and then first and then eighth, but the team that comes in second every time, or or first every time.
Every time. That's possible.
I mean, that's possible.
So, all right. So let's go to round number 3. So that feats, that's going to take an hour total of working, and you'll do the RX and then the scaled. Is that right, or will you do the RX and scaled together?
I think they should be able to all work, because so like 4 RX teams at a station. If you have 8 of each, 4 RX teams at another station, 4 scaled teams at a station, 4 scaled teams at a station, and then they'll just rotate around.
So then you work the first workout. That's going to take about 30 minutes. So you finish that. You probably have an hour, maybe an hour and a half after you finish that before the next one starts. Probably about an hour and a half, I guess, right? I mean, roughly.
If you're in heat 1, then maybe it depends how many heats we have, I guess. Probably have at least like 20 to 30 minutes of rest in between each thing. And then like the feats of skill and strength is a lot of rest and then short work intervals. So I think people will be feeling hopefully pretty okay going into that third workout still.
That's something to keep in mind, though, is the amount of time that you got in between. Because it's a different experience if you've ever done one of Brody's exercise competitions, where you go,
It's like 4 minutes in between events.
Shotgun style between everything,
That was very different. A little tangent is we just did a competition beginning of June, and I had only done Brody comps before, where all of you just go, right, and it's like 4 workouts in 40 minutes. It's probably a little bit longer than that, but logistically there was maybe 4 minutes between heats. Whereas the competition I looked at the schedule, we had like an hour and a half.
There were just a lot of heats. They didn't have like a huge amount of space, so there was just a lot of heats. And they kept it tight. It was only 4 minutes between each heat, but there were like 6 male heats and like 4 female heats, so it was a long time in between workouts. The
first year I did the Tri-State Throwdown, they had a lot of individual competitions, including a master's category. And so the first thing we did was a 5K trail run, all right? And so you finish that about like 7:30, and then the next event was 10:30. Okay, and then after the 10:30 event, which was like 15 minutes, the next event was 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so
It's a lot
it
of
was
time to
like,
wait.
it was a long time, and
You can almost
should
take
be-
a nap in between.
Yeah, it should be less waiting than that. Like I said earlier, trying to get done as close to noon as possible.
Yeah.
Enough time to kind of refuel, refresh a little bit.
Yeah. Have a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe a recovery apple bring
Yeah.
along with you?
Always.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay, so let's get into the third event then.
Yeah. The third event is called Afterburner, and so we were looking for something, punchy. It started off as a triplet when we were workshopping it back and forth, but really the whole idea behind it was wanting that.
Yeah, keep
Wanting
going.
that round by the end of each round to be like an oh no kind of feeling, and so we ended up pulling it back to a couplet and with a little bit more reps. So the Echo Bike, no matter what is on it, it's always a little bit oh no. And then what's the most oh no barbell movement? It's probably a thruster for most people.
Yeah.
At least speaking from personal experience. So it's a 15-minute AMRAP. 15 or 9 calories on the Echo Bike, and then 15 thrusters at 95, 65. So not a heavy weight on the barbell, but 15 is an uncomfortable rep number.
Yep.
It's more than you probably want to hang on to, especially after the bike. And how it'll work is partner 1 will do a full round, and then partner 2 will go, and then partner 3 will go. So you get 2 to 1 rest to work. Which is always a trap in and of itself.
Right, yeah.
But it should allow people to kind of push hard, and you're going to have to push hard to kind of make your team separate from the rest. You're going to have to really push for unbroken sets on the thrusters, not be taking a bunch of breaks. So I think it's definitely going to hurt.
I'm excited to watch that one. I always like the 3 to 5 minute workouts afterwards, going into them, like on what was it, that box get over workout the other day that we had.
Yeah, you smoked that
dude.
thing.
Going into that, just that feeling of like that nervous feeling in your stomach, like ugh, this is gonna hurt. You feel it before Fran, right? Because when you're going for like a 3 to 5 minute Fran, like you have to go fast. It's all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
And I love those kind of workouts. If it's more than 5 minutes, you can't really do that. Like there's a little bit of pacing. Like if you're trying to run a fast mile, you still have to pace it a little bit. But if I said run a fast 400, you got to go, right? And so that's just the kind of feeling that we wanted to have there is you got to go, and you do get rest, two to one rest. That's plenty. That's an eternity in CrossFit time, right? But looking at that, I want to see people fail thrusters. Right, I want to see people like get to that 13th, 14th thruster and then look over and see that this person isn't putting it down. I need to do one more, and can you squeak out one more? Go tag your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you probably will have to run in heats. The heat draw is going to make a difference because the person if you're the first one up on your team, you're going to be going head to head with the other 3. Say there's 4 teams in a heat, There's 3 other guys that you're going head to head with, If that person gets ahead of you, now that your other teammates have got to try and make up that time, You're constantly kind of chasing. It is a head to head race.
Yeah. And then
last year with the Buffett teams of 2, like there was some strategy because there was the one workout where it was 2 workouts and you had to pick one. I think with the teams of 3, it does kind of allow for a little more thinking strategically. We talked about B1, and then in this one, like you said, who goes first? Who's our kind of anchor, right? Who's going to start us off strong, and can we carry that pace throughout?
Yeah, and then it's an AMRAP. Is it 12 minutes?
It's 15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay. So there's a possibility that the first person's probably going to have to go through 3 times, maybe.
Yeah.
The second person might have to do 3 as well.
Yeah. It really just depends on team competition, how bad you want it. Composition, not there's a little bit of like a boon and a bane on that too, because like if you it's Trent, you're up first on the team, and then he gets on his bike right at 3, 2, 1, and Greg's next to him.
Yep.
Well, you're gonna try to keep up with Greg on a bike, right? No, probably not. But there's that little bit like, do we change something? Do we put Phil on there instead? Do we put put someone who can make the calories count by 3 on there instead to go against Greg, or do I run my race, you know? And that's the beauty of competition, right? Looking left and right sometimes is part of it.
Yeah, and the thing about the Echo is you can get like yesterday we did a workout that had 12 calories on the Echo, and Adam Groshans was on the bike, and he was off like in 15 seconds every single time, and it's taken me 45 seconds, so I mean there could be a pretty wide disparity on that Echo bike. It really rewards power.
I think it'll be really interesting because it's just going to be interesting to see how different kinds of athletes can attack that workout. And so there might be, a slower and steadier wins the race kind of approach where maybe you're not slamming the bike. Maybe your thrusters are very methodical, but you're not putting it down, right? Is that going to be worth it versus the people going super speed?
And you said there's a different calorie total for women on this, right?
9 calories.
It's 9 calories for women.
Yeah, so maybe you get 3 guys, you put up your female as the first person because she's going to come off 9 calories faster than they do 15.
Yeah, Alyssa was next to me yesterday on the workout, and we both got to 9 calories at the same time. I'm like, dude, Alyssa, you're going great. Good for you.
Yeah, because there's a lot of women that can just about as fast on the Echo as anybody else. Yeah.
So, and then the scaled version numbers are the same, except the thruster weight is 75, 55. So still light, but again, just otherwise the same.
Yeah, I love that workout because it's a challenge of hanging on to the bar, a couple of seconds to breathe at the top, as opposed to dropping the bar and then having to wait to pick it back up again. It's the difference between, you might make 10 seconds up just by that.
Right.
The question for both pieces, I think, is how well can you hold on to 85%? Because 100% is not repeatable.
Right.
If I could do... we've done Tabata Echo Bike and as warm-ups before, and I've gotten 21 calories in 20 seconds. I was not able to participate in the next round of Tabata. Right, and it's how can I, if I would have done 17 instead, would I have been able to do a second round at 17 kind of deal? Or the cherry bomber workout we have. How can you ride that line just enough to be able to do it again?
Right.
It's kind of the question.
Right, because there comes a point where the tank starts to run a little dry, and you just can't keep up that same effort, And if you're that person that has to come around and, if you blew the doors off the thing for the first 2 rounds, but now you have to do a third, and there's got to be something left in there to do it,
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be a really cool workout to watch.
I'm excited.
I don't want to do it, but okay. So let's talk about and again, that's something that people can test. I mean, so teams right now can test that out.
I wouldn't touch that one with a 10-foot pole beforehand.
It's probably not a bad idea to take a taste of that.
It's gonna feel
if you test it out, let me know. Let me know how it feels.
All right, so let's talk about the 4th workout then.
Fourth workout is 3 different workouts, actually. Yep. You know this one better, though.
Yeah, it's called combat rotation, and so it's sort of inspired I liked the buff workout last year where partners had to each pick their own workout because there's that strategy piece. And then also it's similar to what I did for the most recent After Dark, where I had 3 different little couplets and had each partner work on one at a different, or at the same time, but each partner had to do each couplet. So it's 3 couplets. There's an ascending rep scheme couplet, there's a descending rep scheme couplet, and there's a static rep scheme couplet. And then along with it, there's some running involved. So we were looking at the first 3 workouts, how long is each athlete actually working? For B1, maybe 7-ish, 8-ish minutes per person. For the hopper model, that's all pretty short form things, right? You're not working a lot or for very long. And then for the third one especially, it's just punchy rounds. Maybe you're doing 5 minutes of work in that 15 minutes. So we wanted something where athletes would be working longer, and so, but also keeping that strategy piece. So there's 3 different couplets, like I said. One is 21, 15, 9 deadlifts at 225, 155, and toes to bar. The second couplet is 6, 9, 12, 15 double kettlebell snatches, 35s and 26s. So a little bit lighter since it's double, and pull-ups. And then the other one is 4 rounds for time of 8 single dumbbell devil's press with a 50 or 35 and 2 rope climbs. And so some gymnastics in each one, some weightlifting in each one, and then while one athlete is going to pick each couplet to do. So maybe you have someone that's really good at deadlifts and toes to bars going to do that first one. Maybe you have someone that's really good at rope climbs can do the third one. Someone's good at pull-ups can do the second one, or whatever. However teams want to strategize. The kind of twist on it is, while one person works, the other 2 members will be running an 800. And so the goal is for those to sort of finish around the same time, within a couple of minutes of each other. Some of the workouts maybe stretch a little past like a 4 to 5 minute window, but total time to get through all of those workouts with all of the members doing a full mile of running will be the score. So a little complicated to kind of speak out, but I think in practice it'll be pretty easy because we'll have all of the equipment set up for each one.
Yep.
You'll know where to go for each workout, and then if it's not your turn to do the workout, you're running.
Yeah.
So
you do the first one. It's deadlifts and toes to bar.
Yep.
Okay, so you finish your last toes to bar. Your teammates just came in from their 800-meter run.
Yep.
The next person's going to start on the middle, and you're going to go from the toes to bar to the next 800-meter run.
Out to the run. Yep.
We wanted, looking at the competition as a whole, there's kind of 2 focus points we had before, like when we had the blank slate. We wanted to have as thorough a test that we can, given the constraints of an in-house, 4 to 5 hour event, with only 4 real events kind of deal. When you have 20 events at the CrossFit Games, you can test everything. When you only have 4, you got to be a little smarter with what you're testing. We wanted to have a thorough event, and we also wanted to not just test the fitness, but test the teams, right? That first workout, it was kind of play to your strengths. What can you do? What are you good at? You can rip out a set of 300 double unders unbroken. Cool, that's all you, right? Greg's probably doing 1 wall walk to someone else's 2 in that one. No offense, Greg. But you can play your strengths on that one. The second one is, the hopper event, do your best.
Yep.
And kind of relying on individuals in that run. The third one is don't be the weak link, right? Don't let your team down.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a synchro element in the fourth one because the 2 partners are running at the same time. So if Trent, if 3 of us are partners and we're running, you're working out, Trent can't just smoke me on the run and then tag you in when you're done, and we'd finish together and then we would start together kind of deal.
Yep.
Do you have to run together?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We might get a little rope for you to hold, or maybe not. We'll find out. But yeah, I think this really you get to play to what can you do? What are you going to be the best at? I think this one's going to have the most talk beforehand and most strategizing with your team.
Yeah. Who's going to do what?
Yeah, because game day order on event 3 that may change, but I remember a few years ago one of the feats of strength was actually just 4 girl workouts, and we were looking at it, and I'm pretty decent at Fran, and then Kara at the time, she was the best at handstand push-ups, and I was like, all right, I'm doing Fran, you're doing Diane. Kate can't do snatches at that weight for Ingrid. So sorry, Dylan, you're doing Ingrid because you got he wouldn't want to do the burpees, but suck. Kate can only do Karen, and so she did Karen, right? So
that is evil, but yeah,
it is evil, correct. But she didn't have pull-ups consistently yet at the time. She was still working towards all that stuff, and so Karen was the one she knew she could do, and that's the one she was stuck with. So are you going to get stuck with one, or are you able to really play to your strengths on that one? I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be one where I think a truly well-rounded team is going to be the one that wins it, right? Because it's the running component. Maybe you can fly through these weightlifting and gymnastics movements, but you have to kind of push the run a little bit. I think.
Well, if you think about it, your score is the time that it takes you to finish the 3 couplets, right? So you don't want your run to ever be longer than it took that person to do their couplet.
Yeah.
When all 3 team members are in after that last couplet.
Yeah, because you need to be ready to switch as soon as that person finishes their couplet.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the runners are going to want to go faster than the couplets go, because you're going to want to be there, have no downtime, like you're saying, and then also getting done.
It's the only way you'll get any rest either.
Correct.
Yeah, they should be, ideally, these couplets are going to be somewhere in that 4 to 6 minute range. And I know some of our faster athletes can run that 800 in that 3 to 4 minute range. Even at the end, like, I have no doubt of Josh's ability to run a 330, 800 at the end of all of this. That Josh, Mitch, and Will team is they're going to be fast.
Oh,
right?
they're going to be fast on that.
Yes.
But they cannot start so for then they're actually have the opposite problem. I think they're going to have to like throttle the run a little bit. But if Phil's done with his 21, 15, 9 deadlift toes to bar, and like his teammates aren't back in from that run yet, like he's just sitting around waiting. Right? That's dead space.
Just wasted time.
Right?
The clock's just running at that point. Yeah.
But in vice versa, if you're not back yet, or you get back too soon, So yeah, there's a lot of, I think, strategy.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy involved in that too. You can't just go out and just lug it off on the run,
Yeah.
Especially with an 800. If this is a 400, if you're just running a 400, it's like, But an 800, that's enough. Yeah. I mean, for most of us.
Makes it easy to judge too, because you can just have a judge stand out at the 800-meter loop, and you just have to both people have to cross this line every time. And as long as it's the same, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I actually really like the one, I think what might be a little understated about it is the way, I think Trent really took the lead on this workout here, and I think it's programmed really beautifully, because the weightlifting, if you look at the weightlifting, it goes from the deadlift, which is ground to hips, the hang snatch, which is hips to overhead, into a devil's press, which is ground to overhead.
Right.
And then the gymnastics, you have toes to bar, then you have your pull up, then you have a rope climb, which is kind of just like a toes to bar and a pull up. So I don't know. I think it looks like, they say programming is both an art and a science.
Yeah.
And I think Trent really nailed the art on that one. I think it's gonna flow well, and I think it looks good too, if that makes sense. As much as workouts can look good.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
And again, like a double dumbbell snatch, that's something or kettlebell snatch, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that we do all the time, but I mean, the workouts are posted right now, so there's no reason you can't be practicing.
Yeah, I don't think I had done one of those before I tested that one.
You tested that one. So.
I tested with a little heavier weight and decided, no, 35 was right. But
or even a devil's press. It's not something that maybe you've got a lot of experience with. Now's the time,
Well, then that one was initially double, but for logistics purposes, like we only have so many 50s, right?
Yeah.
Just makes more sense with one, and to keep the time, keep it from ballooning out.
I say my time, I did that one, tested that one with a single dumbbell, and I got 556 on that one. So see if anyone beats that.
That's really good, yeah. So how many devil's press again is it?
8. So and 4 rounds of 8 and 2.
2 rope climbs.
2 rope climbs.
Yeah. So 2 is something that you should be able to go up, right back down, right back up again. Yeah.
And then the grip kind of went away on that one. If you're trying to go right back into the burpee, holding that dumbbell, it's fast as punchy.
Do you have to switch hands with the devil's press, or however you want to do it?
All on your right arm. I dare you.
Yeah.
I dare you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and that's all of them. That's all the events.
So that's great. It sounds like it's a really good test. I mean, there's a lot of balance across the way. Not really leaning any particular way.
We tried to get heavy. We tried to test both pressing and pulling gymnastics. We tried, really looking at how long are people working.
Yep.
Like Trent said earlier, is this you're only working 5 to 7 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Got to short, medium, long, heavy, light, moderate. High skill, low skill.
Yep.
Try to hit a little bit of everything as much as we can.
Yeah. It sounds really fun. So, is there anything else that we haven't covered? Anything that we left out on this?
I think our biggest need right now is judges.
Yeah.
Kind of looking at our judge sign up. Judges keep going to be teens. So we're gonna need a lot of judges. We have 16 teams total. Anywhere between 4 and 8 teams working at a time, I think. So we're just going to need so if you're available July 18th in that morning, we would love to give you a free t-shirt to help us
we'll feed you.
Yeah. Make sure people squat below parallel, can count all the way up to 10 and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Right. All of the movements are pretty standard. So I mean, judgment wise, it's not a difficult thing to kind of judge.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, we'll bring protractors to make sure the hip crease.
That's right. Hip crease. Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey guys, I think that pretty much sums up everything on the buff. Let's let's hope that it all goes well, that we have a nice, bright, sunny day that day.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So if not, you have to run in the rain, right?
Yep.
That's life. Sometimes life demands that of you, doesn't it?
That's right. You got to be ready for whatever comes out of the hopper, you know? Muddy run, that might be what it is.
We'll make sure we have 800 meters worth of shuttle runs or something.
There you go.
I think that was in the quarterfinals one year, actually. No,
That'd be horrible.
not joking. I think that was actually in the quarterfinals one year.
Yeah. Well, guys, hey, thanks for joining us on Crew Talk and explaining Buff 11. I can't wait. It looks very exciting.
Thanks.
Thank you.
If you got something of value from this episode, share it with your crew. Do you want to train with us? Then head over to bomberscrossfit.com and see what we're building. Stronger every day, better every rep. We'll see you in the gym.